Good evening, everyone. This is Robbie Ballard at the Carter James Ranch. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hey, I wanted to let you guys in on a couple things that are going on with our 6 steers. I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of show you a few things. So, I've had these steers about 5 weeks now, and right now we're actually rotating them around the whole property. I'm going to kind of give a scan here. Here's the house and our barn. As I scroll over, you can kind of see some of the pastures. And here's another paddock, which is actually being used for hay right now. This will probably be the last year I use it for hay. I just have too much grass this year, but there's the church next door. But hey, what I wanted to tell you guys about tonight, this whole getting cattle and rotational grazing, it's really been a kind of an adventure, a science experiment, I guess. A lot of research has gone in over the last year. This pasture right now, we're basically strip grazing it. I'm just giving them about 20 or 30 feet every day, and I'm actually moving them twice a day. But a couple things, these South Poles, they're really friendly. But you know, as everyone has cattle realizes, cattle are friendly animals if they have that disposition. But you know, they can hurt you and not even realize it, and not even mean to. Real quickly, this is our lead steer right here. Whenever we move, he's always the first one through. He's friendly, he's docile. I can walk up to him, and when he's not wanting to eat real aggressively, he'll come up and sniff me. But we were gonna get some pretty severe weather 2 nights ago, and they were out here on the open pasture, and the weather was calling for some potential of large hail, which made me a little nervous. So we built a lane, and we ran them actually back to the stable way over there for the night, which made me feel good. So we didn't have to worry about that. But the next day, when we came to move them back out here, you know, I opened up the lane back and was kind of trying to prod them, and I kind of used one of these posts, these temporary fence posts, to maybe kind of tap them just real gently. And man, he hauled back and kicked back. I mean, I keep a safe distance, but again, I'm always a little leery. They're docile, but like I said, if they're agitated or, you know, sling their head real hard and hit you, I mean, they can definitely hurt you. So that was the first experience where, you know, keeping a distance and making sure that in case something happens, you're out of the way. The other thing I wanted to tell you that I think we've kind of dodged a bullet. So this is one of the younger steers right here. He's got a painted face. Now when I got him, he had just been banded, as well as that other steer right there. So I'm still waiting for their testicles to fall off. But I did something that was really dumb that I wanted to share with you guys, just as a newbie to this. Sometimes we do things and you think nothing of it, only to realize that you really could have screwed something up. I had them in a different paddock, and I was getting ready to move them, and there were a lot of little hedge tree shoots and little rose shoots that were, you know, popping up, and I've always kind of moved them, and then I go through and I clip them, and I put a little tort on their root just so they don't grow back. Well, I got caught up and I got lazy, and I started going through their paddock and doing that, and I got to one end of it and got done, and I walked back only to find this little guy licking a rose bush that had some tort on all the shoots. So wasn't sure how much that he had licked, but got him off of that and got them moved. Well, that was on Sunday, and today's Thursday, and it's been kind of a dicey week. He's kind of gotten a little thin. On Monday and Tuesday, he just looked really out of it. You know, if you spend some time around your cattle, you'll know each of their personalities. And he wasn't eating, and he had some basically just straight liquid coming out of his backside that smelled like pretty chemically. So anyhow, just really tried to kind of give him some some kind of home remedy stuff in their water, and just was watching him. Wasn't totally sure if I needed to get him into a vet. You know, sometimes there's these situations where you don't want to overreact, but you don't want to underreact either. And that was one of them. I was kind of stressed out for a day. I talked to a number of folks, and every time I'd go up to him, he would get up. You know, if he was laying down away from the herd, that made me a little uncomfortable. But every time I walked over, he would get up. So that made me feel better. So it's just been a learning process this week with you know, making sure you don't do something dumb. I've heard it said that the comparison that cattle can be a little bit like labs, where if you leave something out, they're going to get into it. You know, if you leave chocolate out, they're going to get into it, and that can cause them problems. So anyhow, hopefully he can get going. He's starting to put a little more weight, but the last couple of days he's gotten pretty thin. But he's finally eating. This is actually the most kind of aggressive he's been picking for the last couple of days. He would just kind of barely go after it. I mean, he wouldn't be ripping and eating as aggressively as this guy. Hey, the last thing I want to share with you guys that I've learned on this rotational grazing, one is your systems are so important. Your systems and how you do things. It's a lot of work, especially when you're moving twice a day, but I'm hoping to improve these pastures and correct some of the overgrazing. But I used to be a high school basketball coach, and the one thing I've realized these last couple days is there's been a few days where I will set up the next paddock and I'll move them, you know, and they'll move in and they're like, now, and they'll start grazing and they're real content. Well, sometimes I get caught sitting here watching them, and then it gets too late, or I got to run over and do something with the chickens, and I don't set up the next morning or the next evening's move. Well, when I come back the next time to move and I haven't set it up yet, these guys are all waiting for me because they know the routine, and they will lose interest if it's, you know, more than 5 minutes and I'm having to go set up the paddock and do the wires, and then it takes a little longer for me to move them. So I need to walk in there and I whistle at them and I get them to kind of come, or I got to go over and kind of herd them. So the comparison was similarly to the experience of being a coach. You know, if you don't have a good game plan or a practice plan, more like a practice plan, your teams can really pick up on if you're not efficient. If you're not efficient with what you're doing. When I would coach, sometimes early on when I was a coach, we would spend a lot of time doing drills, the same type of drill, you know, and over time the players would lose interest. And so I just realized short, quick spurts of doing the drill for 2 or 3 minutes, go hard, get it in, get it over, and we're moving on. Well, the comparison is totally true with these cattle. You know, you get in, you show up, you get them moved, you move on, they move on to grazing the new paddock, and everyone is pretty happy. So lots of lessons are being learned. Some are good, some are kind of scary, but really excited about this journey. It's a lot of hard work, agriculture, but it's pretty enjoyable. So it's a great April evening here in eastern Kansas. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for following the ranch. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, the like button if you'd like to see more of our videos, and we're posting on what we're doing on the ranch. Pretty excited this week. We're going to be shooting some videos on, we're moving our batch of meat birds out to the field. So we're going to be selling some pastured poultry this year. We kind of love that process, getting that chicken litter out on the pastures. We're just going to make more grass for these guys. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.